Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to bring you guys some 5 takeaways from the New York Knicks preseason that just got wrapped up last night. They finished with a final record of 3-1, and our next game will be counting for real against the Indiana Pacers that tips off this Wednesday night in Indiana. So, like I said in this video, I'll be bringing you guys what I really took from the preseason, what we can evaluate from our guys, what we can expect from these guys in the regular season, evaluating the coaches, evaluating how the team played together, individual players, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. If you guys can please hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel and thumbs the video up if you enjoyed. I would really appreciate it. I really am grateful to have a channel about the New York Knicks right before the season starts. You guys have been showing me so much love. For those guys that know, I started this channel the night of the draft when we drafted Obi Toppin and Immanuel Quickley. Ever since then, I've been posting really consistent Knicks content, and you guys have been showing me so much love in the comment section and giving me really good critiques, showing me guys your opinions down below because I love hearing what you guys have to say. And I just want to thank you guys so much because it means the world to me. I'm so excited to be part of the Knicks community because the Knicks are on the rise, and I got a lot of optimistic and fun things in store for this New York Knicks channel. So with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. So my first takeaway I want to talk about is the obvious, which is the young core of the New York Knicks looks promising. And this young core consists of the starting 5 that I made a video on which I want to see, which is Immanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. Those 5 guys are the young core that we need to hold on to for the future. And the reason why I picked these 5 is because those 5 players are the players that we've drafted in the last 3 years in the draft. When was the last time the New York Knicks have built through the draft? We've never done it. We've always signed people free agency. We've always traded for players. We never built our own players from the crops, from the farm system. I know that the basketball, there's no farm system, but I'm just making an analogy because the Knicks have never drafted players and developed them themselves. It's never happened, and which is why we've been so bad for so many years. We're always trading our picks. We're always trading our draft picks for other players, and it never worked out. So it's good to see that we have a young core in place with these 5 players, and they're all super young. The craziest part about this, that as you guys all know, Obi Toppin is the youngest out of these 5 players, and he's a rookie. So that shows you how much potential there is and how much more room there is to grow. And it's crazy because I think there's a lot of potential with these 5 players throughout the season, and I think the coaching staff has a lot to do with how they're performing so far in the preseason. And again, before I really get into the deep analysis of the preseason, we have to put into account we played the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not the best NBA teams, but it's still NBA talent, and they did not play their star players throughout the entire preseason. But at the same time, the Knicks look good against them, and they beat them 3 out of 4 times. It's going to be a different ball game when we go up against regular season opponents that have their full lineups out there and they're better teams. But it's definitely good to see these 5 players definitely showing signs of hope for the future. So I just love how Tom Thibodeau is letting these guys play together. And I feel like he understands that he needs to let them play on the floor at the same time in order to gain that chemistry. And I feel like these 5 guys could be potentially ending the fourth quarters for the future, because you saw what happened against the Cavaliers in that first game. We were losing the first 3 quarters. We were getting blown out because our starting lineup was doing bad. Elfrid Payton had one of his worst games as a Knick. Julius Randle didn't really have his best game, and we were not moving the ball, not playing defense. And then Dennis Smith was another reason why we sparked the comeback, as you guys know, is defense. And then this 5 players right here came in and finished the job, and that's just such a good sign for the Knicks because we've never had our own draft picks playing well together. So that's something that I took away from the preseason that I did not expect, and it's something that we should definitely be happy about. Knicks Nation has never had a young core to really hold on to because we're always being optimistic about a young core going into the season, like, oh yeah, we have this player and this player, and then it never pans out, it never really works. We don't have too many young players. We have veterans playing over them, and they don't get the opportunity. But I feel like this season is different, and Tom Thibodeau understands that this young team is energetic. They want to play together. They're playing really good on both ends of the floor, and you guys know what basketball is all about. It's about playing as one. It's about playing as a unit, and you can see their chemistry already. They're dishing the ball around. They're playing really good team defense, which is the most important, especially playing under Tom Thibodeau. They're going out and deflecting passes. They're doing really good perimeter defense, down low defense, all this great stuff that you need to see from the defense, and especially for this young core. So that's my first takeaway of these 5 players. I know there's a lot of young players as well besides these 5 guys, like a Frank Ntilikina. I didn't add him to this young core just because we haven't really seen anything from him this preseason because he's battling injuries. His first couple games definitely showed that he still is a top-tier elite defender, and I hope he can get on the floor because he will definitely have a really big role on this team if he can stay healthy on that defensive side of the ball. Hopefully he can get his confidence on the offensive end, but these 5 guys we need to hold on to because this could be the future of the New York Knicks. Another takeaway I had from the preseason is the team defense. I broke down the defense with this young core, but the defense in general, outside of the young core, I like what we saw. Definitely there was hiccups in the road. We didn't play lockdown defense the entire preseason. There were some times where we looked lackadaisical and Thibodeau was upset. Thibodeau was calling timeouts, which is okay. You can't expect him to play 100% elite defense every single minute of every game. But what I saw from this defense is something that this Knicks team I've never seen from them before. They're in the passing lanes 100%. They're energetic. They're hustling for the ball. The amount of times I saw Mitchell Robinson last night dive for a ball when we're up by 30 points. He's a hustler. That's what coaches want to see. The players care. The players understand that the coaching staff needs us to buy in on the defensive end, because if we don't play defense, we're either going to be running sprints in practice or we're just not going to win ball games, because what the coaching staff is preaching to us is focusing in on the details of the defensive side. There's no Knicks coaches in the recent time that's ever done that. Fizdale never really, he always said it, but he never really did it. Thibodeau is a respected coach, and I'm excited to see what Tom Thibodeau is doing with this team defense, because we're in the passing lanes, we're contesting, and I think we have a lot of good players that could play really good defense. Mitchell Robinson down low was really good, especially last night. He had 0 fouls and 4 blocks. Wow. Nerlens Noel looks like he's another good rim protector. So we have 2 good intimidation players down low. We have really good perimeter defenders as well. Frank Ntilikina. Immanuel Quickley had 5 steals, so he looks like he's good on defense. RJ Barrett's getting in the passing lane. He's getting a bunch of steals. Reggie Bullock. I mean, it goes on and on. Dennis Smith Jr., there's some guards that are playing some lockdown defense, and even Kevin Knox is playing some good defense, surprisingly, because we know Kevin Knox is not a good defender, but he needs to just have that high motor on the defensive end, and he'll be good. They're crashing the boards. They're pushing the ball in transition. This team overall is set up with the defense, because defense turns into really easy buckets on the offensive end. As you guys saw last night, how many times did they play a really good defensive possession and then forces the Cavaliers to throw up a bad shot? It's a missed shot, it's a rebound, and it immediately pushes us into transition and it gets us an easy bucket. That is good defense. Or you get a steal and it's a transition bucket. Defense leads to offense, and I love how this team is getting back to their old school New York Knicks ways in the 90s, where we're really a defensive prowess team. So hats off to Tom Thibodeau, because he is the reason for this, and I'm excited. I love what I'm seeing from Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff so far. You know, last night we saw Tom Thibodeau call a timeout, and he was furious, and it was the beginning of the second half. We were up by 30 points, and we gave up like 6 straight points in the first minute of the second half. Tom Thibodeau calls a timeout, rips his mask off, and is yelling at his players when we're up by 30 points in the preseason. If that doesn't tell you the type of energy and passion Tom Thibodeau has for a squad, I don't know what to tell you. We're not used to that. We're used to David Fizdale smiling up by losing by 50 points in the third quarter. We're not used to Tom Thibodeau being that way, holding his players accountable. That's why Tom Thibodeau is a big part of the takeaway I'm talking about, because he's the reason why this team defense is playing really well, and I'm excited to see this. Another takeaway I have is, I don't know if a lot of Knicks fans are going to be happy with this, but it's true. We have to give him respect. Julius Randle's passing ability. So, I've been really harsh on Julius Randle on my channel, as you guys know. Last night's video, I gave him the respect when he was due. Julius Randle is showing me an ability that he needs to be consistent throughout the season, because he's going to really elevate this squad if he keeps it up. He is getting his teammates involved. He's not being selfish. Last night he had 8 assists. The other night he had 6 assists. If he can be that point forward role, and if he gets a board, he dribbles up the floor and then he passes out to a shooter, or if he is driving down low and he's triple teamed, instead of spinning into it and turning the ball over, he dishes it out. That's really good sign. I mean, Julius Randle dished it out to Reggie Bullock like for three-pointers. He dished it out to Knox. He dished it down low. Julius Randle looks like a guy that's unselfish. This is how he played in the Lakers. If he can really turn into a guy that's a pass-first forward, then I really think that Knicks fans are going to be like, okay, Julius Randle, you're not as bad as we thought you were. He's going to have his turnover still. He's going to have those plays where we're scratching our heads like, come on, Julius, pass the ball. I'm not saying he had a perfect preseason. There was definitely some times where he looked like he shouldn't have made those shots. He turned the ball over. He missed wide open players. I'm not saying Julius Randle had a perfect preseason, but what I saw from him is a different player than last year. He was unselfish with the ball, passing, getting his other teammates involved, and that is so huge, especially for the development of this young team, because we cannot let Julius Randle hog the ball in the post. I think that Julius Randle has a lot of ability to put the ball in the rim. He makes some crazy, ridiculous fadeaway jump shots, and you got to give him credit. He's not a terrible basketball player. I think the reason why Knicks fans can't take him is because he dribbles into triple teams. He spin moves in and turns the ball over too much. He thinks he's a point forward where maybe he isn't, or maybe he is, because the reason why I always said, like, yo, Julius, pass the ball. You're not a point forward, because whenever he got the board, he would try to go coast to coast and then get a bucket. But now, that was last year. This year, he's getting the rebound, pushing it down the floor, and he's passing the ball. That is a good sign. That is really good for the New York Knicks, because if Julius Randle can start doing that all year, then I think this Knicks team will be way better on offense and the defensive end. So that's a good sign, and that is my third takeaway. My next takeaway is Immanuel Quickley looks like our best point guard. Wow. He is our rookie out of Kentucky, as you guys know. He started last night for the first time, and he came out with 22 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals. There was a lot of point guards that played throughout the preseason. Frank Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr., Elfrid Payton, Jared Harper, and Immanuel Quickley definitely looked like the best one, and he, to me, deserves to be the starting point guard. Will he? I don't know. The reason why I think Quickley deserves it, because he brings a different element to this offense. He knows how to get his teammates involved. I think the reason why Kevin Knox is all of a sudden lighting it up is because Immanuel Quickley is a real point guard who can get him the ball, and defenses have to respect Quickley's jump shot. When Elfrid Payton's in the game, they don't have to respect Elfrid's jump shot. He cannot shoot the ball, and he doesn't have the ability to get his teammates involved unless they cut back door. But Immanuel Quickley, for example, when he goes on there's a pick and roll situation, he rolls to the right, the defender has to ease up on him, which opens up somebody on the perimeter or opens up somebody down low, and Quickley has the vision to get him the ball. He has a really good knack to maintaining his dribble. Clyde Frazier dissected it the best last night, because we know he's an all-time great point guard. Point guards are the ones that can maintain their dribble and keep their head up and with their eyes wide open. And that's exactly what he does. He does not pick up his dribble. That's what we saw from Dennis Smith Jr., which makes me a little worried about his ball handling and just a point guard in general. You can't pick up your dribble. You can't just hold on to the ball too long. Immanuel Quickley has his eyes up. He's dribbling. He's making sure that if someone's open, I'm giving the ball, or if I have a shot, I'm taking it. He had a very good rhythm to the basket. He can finish through contact. He has a nice floater game, and he's a sharpshooter, and he got 5 steals. I feel like he's all 3 of our point guards in one. I saw one of you guys comment down below this, and it made a lot of sense. He has, what was it? It was like Frank's defense, Dennis Smith Jr.'s finishing, and Elfrid Payton's quickness, or something like that. Oh no, Dennis Smith Jr.'s quickness. I could be wrong, but he kind of is a combination of all 3 of our point guards in one in Immanuel Quickley. So he looks like the steal of the draft so far. I don't want to overreact in the preseason, but it's definitely exciting to see someone like that, because I've never seen a point guard play this well for the Knicks, especially for a young rookie, and he needs to get a lot of minutes. And Tom Thibodeau said last night in an interview, I said, if whoever plays well will be earned the minutes. And I think that Quickley, if he does not start, that's okay. He will get a lot of minutes off the bench as a 6-man, but he's earning his way into real NBA minutes. It's going to be really intriguing to see how the Knicks do these rotations when everybody's healthy. Like, we still have Austin Rivers. When Dennis Smith, Frank, and Elfrid Payton and Immanuel Quickley are all healthy, who gets the minutes? Who's the odd man out? It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. And the last takeaway I have for this video is RJ Barrett is set to have a breakout season. He was consistently the best player on the team. He finished the preseason averaging around 18 points per game, 51% from the field, and I think 87% from the free throw line. Wow. RJ Barrett was consistently putting the ball in the rim, getting his teammates involved, crashing the boards. He looked like a different player. To me, he has that poise to him where everything's slowed down. He goes at his own pace. That spin move hook shot layup that he had last night was just so beautiful. The serendipity on it. He has a scoop layup to him. He's a very unique style to him where you can't really compare him, because I don't really compare RJ Barrett to anybody in the league. I always did compare him to a Dwayne Wade type of player in terms of he's patient when he goes to the rim. He can absorb contact and finish at the rim, and he doesn't have the most ability to stretch the floor and shoot the three, but he can hit the mid-range shot, and that's what RJ Barrett's doing. And another big aspect to RJ's game that we saw in the preseason is his free throw ability. He shot 13 of 15 from the free throw line. If RJ Barrett can hit consistent free throws, you guys have no idea, or you do have an idea, how much that is big for RJ Barrett. Last year, he struggled from the line tremendously. He's a guy that can get to the rim and absorb contact and draw the foul very easily. He averaged around 7 free throw attempts last year and only hit like 3 or 4 of them. So if this year, if he averages 7 free throws again and he hits 5 or 6 of them per game, that's an extra 6 points. And I feel like he has the ability to average around 20 points per game this season. And RJ Barrett is destined to be our star. I don't want to put the whole burden on him where he needs to be our guy. I'm not saying he's going to be the superstar of the Knicks, but he has all-star potential written all over him. He has the confidence in himself. He has the poise to be great. He has the mentality, the work ethic. Everything you want in a franchise player is RJ Barrett, and I'm so happy to see him take that next step. So that's all my takeaways from the New York Knicks preseason. Let me know some of your takeaways down below. I know there's a lot more I could have got into, such as Kevin Knox shooting the ball. His confidence is through the roof. He looks like a completely different player. Mitchell Robinson staying out of foul trouble. Reggie Bullock looking like a sharpshooter. There's a lot of other things that I didn't mention in this video, but don't worry, I'll be bringing you guys a lot more content. So again, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure you do so. And again, make sure you comment down below some of your takeaways from the preseason. I love hearing you guys' takes. You guys are really smart and passionate Knicks fans just like me, so I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is, just because I have this YouTube channel and I talk about the New York Knicks doesn't mean whoever's watching this video, you guys know just as much as me. I'm just a Knicks fan voicing my opinions, and if you guys disagree with anything I say, that is totally okay. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, so let me know down below what you guys think. That does it for this video. Stay tuned for more Knicks content. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Let's go Knicks! Peace.